Okay. Oh my God, we're working. Oh, I'm so nervous. We're gonna have some fun today, baby. I think I'm willing to do the task. Has anyone done a live watch me apply before? I don't know. But I'm gonna try to be the first to do it, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun and hopefully informative. Hopefully informative. So, all right, so some disclaimers. If you aren't familiar with who I am, my name is Anthony Venture, and I, over the past 5 or 6 years, have been able to accumulate well over 1 million credit card points without referrals, mind you. I'm not including any referrals I might have gotten over the years. So we've been able to do that, and with an income of like 30K or less. So for a lot of people who say like, oh, I want to see people have applications on cards that are, that are not 100K or 150K on their income. You want somebody who can show you how to get approved for all these things with 30K or less. Well, that's what I've been able to do, and that's what my income has always been. So not special in any way, but you learn little things along the way that can help you get approved. And another disclaimer is, well, of course, I'm speaking to you guys who are in this community who are more than likely already good with your credit, right? You're getting these cards because you just want the points or you want the multipliers. Essentially, we are getting all these cards to get outsized returns for hopefully vacations down the line or just some money back in your pocket, right? That's the ultimate goal for all of us here is and I think I don't need to say it, but I will say it anyways. Disclaimer: everything that we'll be talking about is going to be based on me wanting a business card so I can get some welcome offers, so I can get some more points for some hotel stays. Am I going to use it for the business? Sure, but that's not the main goal. So that's a disclaimer. Another disclaimer is, of course, pay your bills on time. You're not running up any, credit, whether it's your personal cards or your business cards, regardless of what you're doing. All these business cards are going to be reporting to your personal credit. If you're delinquent on them, you're going to have some bad issues on your personal credit report as well. It's going to lead you to have lower scores and lower ability of, borrowing power down the line when you try to get loans for cars and home loans. Okay. So these are my main disclaimers before we actually get into all the details. And again, one more disclaimer. Like I said earlier, I'm not as big as some of these other guys who've had big businesses and established businesses for many, many years, and they can speak to that side. I can't, but I've learned a lot of things on actually just getting approved for business cards over this time period. And of course, if anyone has things that contradictory to what I say, or you think something is wrong, or I'm not putting out the best message possible, please inform me down in the live chat here, and I will mention it. Of course, because I don't want the last thing I want to do is misinform anybody, and I want to learn as well. So this way, we can keep getting more and more approvals. That's the idea. With all of that out of the way, let's go. Let's do it. All right, let's have some fun. I'm going to go through one that's completely blank, and hopefully I'm just going to talk through each one of the steps and just things that I've learned over the years. Again, talking to Chase reps, talking to CPAs, all these different things. So this way I had the highest chances of getting approved possible. Okay, so let me share the screen. Oh my God, you're not supposed to. I'm just kidding. Here's what we got here. So this is, I already clicked someone's referral link for this. And so we're already on this page. And you kind of know that because right here it says, be sure to apply through this page, and the person that referred you can get a bonus once you get the card. So that's one thing to just check. If you're going to be using someone's referral, definitely make sure that that is there. Now, there's a few different options here, and I had a few options leading up into this. The first thing is I want to choose which card would make the most sense. And I did a video recently talking about the Chase Ink Preferred right here. And I was talking about how I should use that to replace my Chase Sapphire Preferred as the main conduit to moving my Chase points over to Hyatt hotels and whatever partners I tend to, I'll end up using in the future, right? So I decided to forego that because I guess the idea was I wanted to get the Chase Ink Preferred because, well, as per my CPA, the annual fees tax deductible, so very, very cool. It's a write-off, the $95. So that's already making it inherently cheaper than Chase Sapphire Preferred. Of course, consult your CPA. And the bonus here is 100,000 points, and for $8,000 worth of spend, which is pretty good. Pretty good here. It's a little hard to hit, but it's definitely doable. And I think what would be smarter is if I just waited maybe to the end of the year, maybe closer to Christmas time, all these different holidays that people are celebrating to, hit the most amount of spend possible. Full disclaimer, I am putting all all the spend that I've been putting on is all going on my rent. So I pay $1,500 every single month. So that's $6,000 over a 3-month period. So making the 6K worth of spend in 3 months for like these other options much easier to hit. So full disclaimer, that's how I'm kind of hitting it. And then of course just groceries and whatever else is going on there. And then I'll talk about tax implications down the line and stuff I learned from the CPA and how you can avoid avoid legal issues, which none of us really should have an issue. So instead of doing the Chase Inc. Preferred, I decided to go with the Chase Inc. Business Cash, and there was, I would say, 2 reasons for it. The number one is, well, I guess, yeah, again, the 8K spend in 3 months would be a little hard right now when there's no other spend other than the rent. So that is kind of out there. And then 2, I know I'm going to be getting another Inc. application in prior to, I would say, September 3rd, because September 3rd, I don't think I could see it here anywhere, but that's when the referral drops. When you use like your player two's referral, it'll go from 40,000 points to 20,000 points per referral. So it's a 20K hit if you wait until after September. Of course, if you have to, you have to. But since I'm in this position where I can technically just keep opening, I might as well get one card first and then get the Inc. Preferred to end out the year and with all the extra spend. So it kind of just lines up perfectly for that time of year. So I decided to go upon the Chase Inc. Business Cash. And it might be obvious why we're going for that, because you can kind of see a discrepancy between these 2 cards right here, the Chase Inc. Unlimited and the Chase Inc. Cash. Chase Inc. Unlimited's right here. And they're good for what they are. And I like the 1.5% on everything. That's very easy value add. Once you actually hit your minimum spend of $6,000, then you're getting additional 1.5 on top of that. So like an extra 10,000 points. So you'll end up with not 75K points, but like 85K points after that. And it's just a little bit less with the in cash at the 1%. But of course, the in cash earns in a lot of other categories, like ones that, my wife just got the in cash, so I'm not worried about these multipliers. But for those of you who are worried about them, getting 5% back at office supply stores, internet, cable, phone services. My internet, cable, and phone services, well, phone services are through somebody else, and I'm not able to capitalize on that, but you could theoretically get 5% on all that. That's awesome. Office supply stores, you guys might have saw I did that recently for this MacBook purchase. I bought 5%. I bought gift cards for Amazon, got 5% back on $843 worth of Amazon gift cards, gave me 4K points, and then used those to buy on Amazon this MacBook that I'm streaming on right now. And that was, that was a way to earn an additional 5%. So that's the idea. But the main reason I got the in cash was because the new offer that we have running. And I left that in the description, at the top of the description, and in the pinned comment here. But the idea is, you're earning 75,000 bonus cashback, aka 75,000 points, and it's in a tiered system now. So you can get 35K points after spending 3K in the first 3 months, and then an additional 40,000 after spending the total amount of 6,000. I know some people think like, oh, is it 3 and then plus 6? But no, the total is 6,000 spend in 6 months worth of time. So I think that's incredibly valuable that you can get the same amount of spend, $6,000, and to get the same bonus as the unlimited, but you get an additional 3 months. So 3 months here and 6 months here. So I think that's incredibly powerful. And then also on top of that, you do have the 10% business relationship bonus. A couple of people were thinking about that and they were wondering what exactly this is. So essentially, if you have a business relationship, so if you have a business checking account with Chase, which I think if you look right now, I think they just dropped it. I think I forgot what it is. Is it deposit? I think it's depositing maybe 5K, deposit 5K of new money into the account. So theoretically, you could just move money from your Chase investment account or your Fidelity investment account, transferred over to there. But the idea is, if you have this before November 2024, you'll earn a one-time bonus of 10% on all of the eligible cash earned in your first year. Especially with this card. So you just have to have the account prior to November. And after looking around and asking around, it seems like you can get this account in like October, right before November, and it still will be eligible all of the cash back that you earned the entire time that you've had the card. So obviously, I haven't done it, and this is pretty new. I think I don't know if anyone's ever done it, but that's I think that's the idea behind it. And Sebi has a whole video on it where he talks about that. Okay, could you stop, Phil? Did he apply yet? God, this new generation, you Gen Zers. I'm just kidding. So there was another thing I did. There was another thing I did leading up to this application. And when I say leading up, I mean literally like 5 minutes before I went live. I called Chase because I realized on one of my Ink Unlimiteds, they actually auto raised my limit from, I think it was either 3 or 4K, and they raised it to $8,000. And I was like, that's a problem because I don't want to have to worry about, I get some people say it's not true and it's not a real thing, but I'm just going to act as if it is true, and I'm just going to be as safe as possible because it doesn't hurt me otherwise. Meaning the 50% rule, and I can bring it up here now. But the idea is, over the years, people have mentioned, oh, the Chase 50% income rule applies to new accounts too. Okay, whatever. Your available credit cannot be more than half your gross annual income. So, if you're applying for these cards and you're making 60K a year, like it says here, and your availability credit from Chase is reporting at 30K or higher, then you will be denied. And then congrats on the card. Now, is this an exact science? No. Like most things in this game, in fact, like everything in this game, there are rules that are touted out there that aren't necessarily like cemented in fact, but were peer reviewed by tens of hundreds of data points. So is that a hard rule necessarily? Kind of a little bit, because even talking to some chase reps nowadays, they actually tout that rule nowadays, just like how they just started saying, oh, 524 is a thing. For a while, they had no idea what it was. Now, all of a sudden, everybody talks about like they knew it forever. These chase reps, they say, oh, we're at 524. That's why you got denied 524. Same exact thing is being touted through the chase reps now as well. Like, oh, you were denied because of the 50%, gross income rule. So because I'm starting to hear chase reps talking about that, because we know this to be true via data points over the years, I'm going to act as if it is true. And what I did was, since they increased my credit limit by double, I said I don't want to decrease my chances of my the amount of credit that Chase is lending to me become 50% or more than my gross income that I'm stating. So what I did was I just called Chase and I said, "Hey, you upped it to 8K. Can you just lower that credit limit?" Now, what I realized on this call is that, well, one, it takes literally 5 minutes. It's really fast for my first time lowering a credit limit on a Chase card. And the second thing I learned is that on the actual application itself, when you go through and it gives you like the checklist before you hit apply, and it's like, here's everything you need to know, and like APRs and what have you. It says the minimum credit limit on this card to be approved is 3K, and I believe the Chasing Unlimited is 3K, and I think the Chasing Cash is 4K. It's in the fine print. But after asking her, I was like, on the phone just a second ago, I said, okay, what is the lowest I could lower my credit limit to? It's 8K now. Can I draw like, is 3K the lowest? And she said, actually 1K is the lowest. So I was like, oh, good to know. Can we lower it to 1K? And she said yes. So in my mind, even if I'm being too safe, I've just lowered my credit limits from Chase by $7,000 in 1 second. And she said it's effective immediately. Cool. And of course, if you want to up that again in the future, it could either be auto increased again, or you have to ask for it. And in that case, they're gonna have to check your credit worthiness and what have you. But with Chase, it's soft pull nowadays. And this way, if this rule does exist, well, now I just opened up 7K worth of line, which, I mean, based on my last two applications, they gave me a line of what, 4K and 3K. So that's two more ink cards that I could possibly be approved for, pending all of the other, little data points. So something good to know. Let's keep it moving, baby. Let's go to the application. So let's go through the application. So we're gonna hit apply now. All right, cool. So we're on the business card application, baby. This is where we're always having issues. Everybody's having issues here, right? So, like again, I don't have a million years of experience with this, but enough to talk to so many people that I've learned a few things and how to get approved for these a little bit easier, I would say. And then watch I get denied. All right, so first and foremost, listen. I don't care if you guys think this is boring. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through all of this. All right, so authorizing officer title. Okay, so when you're establishing your business, like I said, members, owners, partners, presidents, treasurers, vice presidents, all these things that we're more than likely everybody watching here is kind of like me, who just has our businesses, whether it's YouTube, real estate, even I guess shirt sales with Shopify now, technically with these, all these different things. So for all of us who are, one man shows and one man businesses, and also are applying through our social security numbers as a sole proprietor, we're just pretty much putting owner. We're putting owner here. And I'm just of the belief that if you have appointed any of these roles, you know what these roles are. So I think needless to say, I probably don't have to say much, unless you guys think otherwise. You guys know the deal here. Your first name, you know your name, you know your last name. Very nice. Suffix. I always laugh at the suffix because it's like, damn, you got the, what was that? It's 5 there. So is that the 8th? Oh my God. This is Anthony Venture, the eight generations of credit card people. Isn't that crazy? Date of birth, mother's maiden name, which, all right. So all these things are self-explanatory. Here is a thing that, some people just think about. Now, as I said earlier, social security number, if you're applying as a sole proprietor. And here it's only giving you the other option of a ITIN. And for those who are unfamiliar what an ITIN is, it is essentially if you do not have a social security number. So you're a someone from another country, or if you never became a citizen and you don't have a social security number, that is what the ITIN is for, and you'll have to apply for that. And we're going to put in our social security number. So I'm going to put that in right here. Kidding. And let me show the numbers too. How about that? No, I'm just joking. So then we have our home address. Again, all these things are very self-explanatory. You know what to do here. All right. So now the financial info. So this is where I've gained the most amount of knowledge talking to all these different people over the last year and getting approved. So total gross annual income. This is going to include all of your income. This is not just going to be your business income. It's going to be, anything that you can make, even if it's across all of your businesses, because your actual business revenue and the things for this business card application are going to be later on in this application. They add this here because, like I said earlier, just because it's a business card and it's not reporting to your personal credit, you're still in charge of all the debts that accumulate on your business application, and this is what they need to know to verify all of your personal details. And also, if they extend you maybe too much income based on a lie here, if you lie about your gross annual income, you can't sue for negligence. It's like the underlying tone of all this stuff, like, oh, you gave me too much credit, of course I'm going to use it. Well, why'd you say your income was so high? And what a lot of people always like to mention when they do these videos talking about, and myself included, when you're talking about your total gross annual income, as we could reasonably expect to earn, 21 years old or older, and you regularly use income from others to pay for your bills, you could include that too, which I always think is one of the funniest things that you could possibly put in there, because what does that really mean? Does that mean, if you are Venmo'd for rent, is that classified as income on others to pay your bills? Like, are these people in your family 1099ing you at the end of the year that you can show this on your on your taxes? Who really knows? I actually do not really know. So people like to mention that. I just think it's probably better if you don't include any of that type of income. But for me, in my mind, it's just total income from your day job, from your businesses, your side hustles, all those different things. Put it all there. What you're reasonably going to be making this year, especially if we have businesses, it's fluctuating as well. So that number could change depending and from application to application, and that is okay. It actually, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot in this here, it actually shows you the breakdown of what I just mentioned verbally. But the total annual income includes full-time, part-time, internships, seasonal jobs, self-employment interest, dividends, even dividends. So if you got a huge dividend portfolio, I mean, hey man, listen, they say you could throw it in, so why not? Social security benefits, all these different things, even public assistance, which is interesting. And like we said earlier, it can include money that someone deposits into your account regularly. Tax advisor. Okay, cool. But for the most part, like I said, part-time job, full-time job, business income. That's all we're worried about. You don't have to worry about anything else. All right. Cool. So business structure. The structure clearly means, oh, it's a sole proprietor, or it's partnership, LLC. And for those of you who have established LLCs for your businesses so far, that's what you're going to click here. You're going to do LLC, and then you'll add your EIN associated. Even though I know you can have an LLC and you still have it, just applying with your SSN and not have an EIN. Get it? I get that as well. For me, it's going to be sole proprietor. So cool. But just remember that we'll pin that until it comes in a little bit later. But all right, so business legal name, again, if you are doing sole proprietor, it's just going to be your actual name. So you're going to write your name there. And as far as I know, desired business name on the card doesn't mean anything. You can put whatever you want there. So then you also have the DBAs. So this is another thing that you would have filed. I think actually I remember Sledge talking about how he filed for having like sledging team as his business, and it was like a different name for it. So he filed a DBA, doing business as, and then you would end up writing that on this line here. I haven't, so I can't speak to that. So that is a no. Number of employees, very self-explanatory. They put it right here. Enter the number of additional employees, not including yourself. Enter 0 if you're the only employee. So for us, you put 0 because it's just me. We're a one-man team. All right, so business tax ID as well. And this is, again, going to follow suit. The main thing with these business card applications is you want everything to be congruent. Okay, it seems self-explanatory, but I have seen some people that change things from step to step. So if you've been putting your EIN all this time or LLC all this time, you're going to want to continue putting the same number here and here. For the sole proprietor, again, Social Security is going to be the same friggin' thing every single time. Sole proprietor, Social Security, all these different things. So we will just want congruency at the end of the day. And then we were here. Okay, so then it asks you to re-verify it. Primary physical business address. We'll send the card to your business physical address. Cool. A lot of people are opting out of storefronts nowadays. A lot of people want to have, businesses over the air or just, I would call maybe intangible businesses, ones that don't require a storefront. Anyone who's like a real estate agent like me or a YouTube channel where there's no direct front other than just your business address, right? Which is your actual home address. But obviously, if no, you put it here. Just like if you're buying something online, like, is the card address the same? You'll just put all the information as it's laid out for you. All right, nice. We still good? All right. And I'll get to, I think I see some questions, but I'll talk about it after. I just want to get through this first. Okay. So now here is where we get into some more issues. So remember I talked about earlier, there are 3 things that they'll usually hit you with on the like if you get denied for a business card with Chase, they'll state 3 reasons. Number 1, it's going to be 524. So for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, you guys know the Chase 524 rule. It's just applying for 5 cards of any kind. So 3 Amexes, 1 Chase, 1 Capital One. Okay, that's 5 cards. And if you got approved for them all within the last 2 years or 24 months, Chase will deny you for each subsequent card opening until those card accounts drop off your account after 2 years. That's the idea between 524 and as per Chase, you're not supposed to get approved over 524. But I know personally, I was approved at 724. I was approved twice. I think I was approved twice at 724. Actually, Josh Gable was just approved at 724 after doing the hookah method, calling in for recon, and he was approved. So it's not necessarily like over, but I'm just saying that's one of the things that they will tout when they deny you, which they did deny me that initial time, and they stated 524. And even when you call on the phone, they will still tout 524. But there are other ways around it, like Josh Gable was able to do recently. Cool. All right. Next, the second thing they talk about is insufficient business deposits, and what that essentially means to them is that you don't have their checking account, maybe their business account, like their business checking account, like we talked about earlier, where you can get a bonus, and you have not enough spend going through there. But it's almost a little bit of catch-22, and they agreed when I spoke to them because, well, maybe it's your first Inc card and you have no funds going through there, and you have no, you didn't sign up for a business checking account because maybe you think you have to have a business card first. The two can be exclusive, but the idea is they say that, more deposits with Chase or more of a relationship on the business side with Chase. After talking to the Chase reps and the people in person who literally put through the application multiple times, they say this means nothing. They put it on there because they need to put a reason. They say it never hinders anyone from getting approved because you're right. How are you going to have a business relationship without having the business card first? So they agree it doesn't really make sense. And so that's not the thing that's not the main reason why you're denied. But the third reason, which is a reason that they will auto deny you, which is what I talked about earlier in business structure. Now, if you've ever been denied, you've seen business structure. It's usually the top one. Like I said earlier, this is talking about how old your business is. It's not even necessarily about just the structure of it. Is it LLC? Did you put in all your documents? Is it sole proprietor? And then however you're going to prove that. It's about how old your business is. And as far as I've been able to tell, talking to as many people as possible, if it's under 1 year, like if I go here, business established date, and I put 01 2024, I just established it a few months ago. More than likely, I could still get approved, but you have the highest chances of actually getting auto denied just by it being under a year old. And I saw that kind of firsthand because when I first applied for my I guess two applications towards business cards. I was denied for that very reason, and even the people on the phone and the people in person mentioned that when I was there. So the idea is, if you are okay, so there's two things here. So the idea is, if you are have an LLC and that's established, you already have your formation date. You got the letter, you filled it out, whatever it was. You did it online, in person. You have an established date for that LLC, so that you can't fake that. So you can't. You have your formation date, and you kind of have to put that there. If it's under a year, you can still go through the application, but again, it's somewhat likely you get denied for that reason. Of course, not 100% of the time, but just what I've known to be true. But if you do it how I have been doing it, which is sole proprietor, well, then there is no real paper trail. I mean, the idea behind your business established date is quite literally the idea of when it was formed in your mind. You know, like this YouTube channel and what I'm going to be applying for today. This YouTube channel started April. I think I posted the channel was like many years before that. Technically, this channel that we're on right now has been a thing since like 2019, but I didn't post my first video till April 7th, 2022. So now it's a little over 2 years old, but and it didn't make money until a year after that, or 7-8 months after that, something like that. But in my mind, the older I can make it within reason, the better. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say this is a 10-year-old business, or make it 20 years and like YouTube wasn't even invented yet. I'm going to put it reasonable, but at least reasonably over a year. I'm going to make sure that it's over a year. So for me personally, like I said, it's going to be for 2022. Forget it. Like, I talk about my wife, who works on an online platform, and she copyrights. She created that business way before anyone ever bought, because, well, how could you predict when someone's going to buy your first order in the copywriting space? It's very, it's very up and down. So that's one thing I will stress to you guys, is if you can stretch it past a year, just stretch it past a year. More of the issues come on the side of when you're actually doing your taxes later on, but I'll talk about it. Annual business revenue. These are the other two things in which, I've mentioned on video before, and I think people tend to agree with as well. So these things too are estimated. All of this business financial stuff is estimated. The established date, the business revenue, and the estimated monthly spend. Because how could you tell me with this YouTube channel that I'm going to, or my real estate business, that I'm going to make, I'm going to make 10K this year, or if I'm going to make 50K this year, 50K this year with interest rates? Who would have planned for the economy to raise rates to 7% to lead home buyers or would be home buyers astray, into rent, and renting being a little bit cheaper at the moment? Who would actually even be able to thoroughly put that to paper? Nobody. You have no idea. You have no idea. You can have a guess. You have projections. Every business should have, projections of what they could reasonably do in a year. And that is what I've always put. However, some data points with this, again, with a grain of salt. This is, everything I've learned from talking to people and all these different things. Anytime that it was below 5,000, when it was below 5,000 is when people started getting more and more auto denied. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm not saying you can't put $1,000 here and get approved, because some people have already. And that's the reason why I say, like, how could you reasonably expect to know what you're going to make in the next year? Is, well, if it's under 5K, within reason, like it's 4K or 3K, I'd rather show the higher number. I mean, am I an evil person for saying that? No. Do I strive to make more money? Like, if I say this YouTube channel, like, I really hope to make 10K and maybe we're at 5K now. I mean, a video could blow up, or I can get 2 sales in real estate, and all of a sudden, yes, I am fully dead on my revenue goal. Who really knows what's going to happen from point to point? My point is, if you're going to put a number, don't put the number that over some data points say that you might get auto denied, like a 5K. I'd much rather be above 5K. If I have a choice, I'm going to put over 5K. I'm going to put 10K. And again, all of this is within reason. If you're only going to make $10 this year, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, we shouldn't even be talking right now, right? But in my mind, I'm going to put the exact same amount that I put for the last application for the YouTube channel, and that was 15K. Is that a stretch? Maybe. Maybe, but I think it's doable if I work really hard. You know, if I work really hard at it, I might be able to get 15K. And that's a little, some people want to know, like, what are you making? So that's what I'm going to end up putting on the application, just so you know, full transparency on if I get approved or not. You know that these are the numbers. Estimated monthly spend, and again, I'm going to come back to the chat in a second. I'll see if I'm dead wrong on certain things. But so again, estimated monthly spend is where I also want to make a point in, like, I've said this on videos. Again, some people have agreed with it. Maybe some people don't agree with it. What is my estimated monthly spend going forward? Tell us the average monthly amount you would charge on this card. I have to hit $6,000, at least in the past application, $6,000 in 3 months. Would it make sense for me to say that I'm spending $500 every single month on this application if I'm going to have to hit $6,000 to hit the welcome offer? No, it doesn't make sense, because no matter what, you're going to be spending, like, you're not going to forego this. The reason we're getting these cards in the first place, at least, like I said, I qualify the people who are like me, trying to get points for vacations. Cool. You're not spending less than that. You have to hit the bonus. So that's the amount of spend that you're going to put out there to get the spend. And that is what I literally will be spending on this card with rent and with groceries over the next few months. So bam, I'm going to hit the welcome offer. Is it going to persist after those few months? Or, even if in this offer, the in cash, which is $6,000 over 6 months, so $1,000 every single month. So even make it 1,000, who cares? Whatever the amount actually is for you to hit your welcome offer and what you actually are going to hit over the next few months. And in my experience, nothing ever happened. In fact, I stopped using the cards and they gave me more credit limit increases. So I don't see any downside whatsoever to saying it's be a monthly spend. Again, this is all things that are just to allow you to get approved. And then after the fact, I don't think Chase really cares. As long as you're swiping the card every so often, they're making money, regardless. And again, show me a data point that says otherwise. I haven't seen it, and I've scoured. I'm open to being wrong, but I think this just makes sense. And again, my point in saying putting the higher number is, if you only say you're spending $100 a month, well, you don't look like a very profitable person to them. And especially this discrepancy between 15K in spend and $100 in spend, especially with all these businesses that need advertising spend to have their marketing and whatnot to actually get some business inflows, then cool. You might as well just put the higher number and hit the number that you're actually going to be spending, get the welcome offer. Doesn't make sense to say I'm going to spend $100 on the card, but all of a sudden now I'm hitting the welcome offer of 6K. All right, so we'll pause here and we'll see. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too crazy and inflammatory. Doc says, this whole thing sounds like one rationalization after another. It is, baby. We're all rationalizing. All of us all have lies that we tell ourselves every single day, and we rationalize it as much as we can. Did I miss the good part? No, the good part's coming. The good part's coming. Oh yeah, and Doc, you mentioned you could just put last year's revenue instead of guessing. Well, my point is, who cares? Because, well, I just want to put the number that over a course of hundreds of data points said that, or maybe not hundreds, maybe tens of data points said that if the number was above like a 5K, you might as well just put 6K if you could really reasonably make sense of it. And again, this stuff does not matter on application day. All these things kind of matter more so later on. But I'll get to it when I get to it. Let's go back to the application. All right. So does that make sense to everybody? Reasonably put your numbers if you can reasonably do it. I'd rather this revenue be above 5K, and I'd rather this estimated monthly spend be above, I would say minimum 500. But again, you have to hit the spend. So minimum 1,000, I would say, because that is what you're going to be spending, unless you're just getting this card to have a business credit card and you just don't care about the welcome offer whatsoever. If you don't care about the welcome offer, then that's just not what we talk about here. And I can't cater to you. I'm sorry. So cool. If we're all good on that, then we're going to keep moving. If you don't, on the application, when you're actually going for these Chase cards, once you get through all this, the rigmarole, and you go through the, established date and all these different things, it's going to ask in the section, there's going to be a section that when you drop down, and it's going to ask you for business category, and there's going to be subtype, and then there's going to be another subtype. So in that process, there are a plethora of things to choose. Like I said, there's manufacturing, there's real estate, there's agriculture, there's, media, all these different things. And there's one main nuance. There's two main nuances of this that I learned. So one, there are technically some categories that will get auto denied. What those categories are, I actually do not know. And I don't know if anyone even has data points on that. They, I guess, would have to just apply for and then get denied and then be told that that's the reason. So I know that there are some. So you kind of want to be a little bit safe with what you're putting on there, and of course, as close to your actual business as possible. On my first application, I did it for my real estate business. There's literally a section that says real estate, and then there's a separate section that's talking about like brokers, which is agents, and then the subcategory below that will again be the same thing. I think like agents and brokers. For the YouTube channel, I have put one thing, and it was something that I took from Joshua Butler on his application, which was on there. It'll say information. That's the main type, and then the subtype was internet broadcasting. And then once you clicked on that, it brought you to the subtype, which was again internet broadcasting. Now, after talking to CPAs, there are some things that we found out. So basically, when you have this category, like if you guys see this, I don't know why it's not here. Maybe it's gone. But when you have these business categories, that is one thing that could be an issue down the line, but it doesn't have to be. So if you can't get anything as close to your business as possible, like I have no idea how to classify my business, put something that makes kind of a sense. Like if there's anybody out in the media world, you can do the same thing I've been doing with internet broadcasting. I think that'll work, and I already know that I was approved for that, so you can theoretically do that yourself. And what you want to do is, because one thing is, if you choose the wrong category and you go through life and you go to your CPA and you're writing things off from your business card over the years and you're under the wrong category, that flags an issue with the IRS and could actually give you an audit. This is directly from my CPA's mouth. But you have 5 years to correct that. So basically from the time of inception, or at least I would say the time of which you write off your first thing from your business card, like if you give your statements to your CPAs, what have you, you have 5 years to correct that. And the CPA actually can do it on your behalf. And it's not that hard of a thing. And they will be able to find the correct subtype for your business. So I believe for mine, the internet broadcasting isn't even correct for the YouTube channel. I think there's a separate section that's like social media. So just know that there are potential implications of that, of choosing the right category, but just know that if you do choose the wrong category, consult your CPA, have them fix it for you. So this way they can choose the right type. And then, if any issues, kind of falls on them, but let them choose. And Malik says, wait, I have to wait 5 years to correct what? So I can't show it on the screen because it literally is not popping up, but the category of the business that you're actually getting the business application for. So if you have a real estate business, but for some reason you applied and put it under a media business, who knows? You would have an issue with the IRS if you're starting to write things off on your taxes as per my CPA, but have no fear, you can correct that via your CPA, and you can choose the right business subcategory as long as it's within a 5-year period. But these are things that, if not corrected, can raise red flags with the IRS and can get you audited. So that's the main thing, and that's the one thing that I will correct when I see him next. But just so you know that is an outlet, just in case you have no idea what the category is, and you and you still want to get approved. So just have no fear. Another thing to know is a lot of people worry about, if I have things that I on my business, like I don't want to put non-business spend on my business card. And I believe there are some writings out there that say like, oh, you're not supposed to put on a non-business spend, what have you. But it's like impossible to dictate what is business spend and what is not. My rent, need this for a living. I use this for both businesses. I have to put the rent on the card. Like, how could you tell me it's not a business expense? But all these things don't really matter. The main point is anytime that people actually run into issues with putting non-business spend on business cards is when they go to write off those same charges at the end of the year from those business cards with their CPA. That's not what you want to do. Like I said, I put everything on my business cards, absolutely everything. And I'm just making sure that at the end of the year, I'm not writing off those same things that were on the card. So I think some people might run into issues with that if they're putting everything on the card and they say, oh, CPA, here's my statement, because they forgot that they put other things on there. You want to keep an actual good track of everything that you're spending your money on that business card, tracking it correctly, either via notes like I do, or even there's an app called Found for businesses where you can, as soon as you buy something, put it in Found, and then it'll give you a printout of everything at the end of the year that you can give to your CPA. So this way it's all organized and all good. So make sure your stuff's in order if you're going to pay your taxes, right? So you don't want to just give them a blanket statement of your business card because you don't know, maybe one day your wife took it out, you got to go, you pay groceries or what else, who knows? So And exactly as Luke says, why would they ever have any idea? Exactly. The only issue is when you go to write off things at the end of the year. So no worries on that front at all. But I know there's always people mentioning in comments like, I'm worried about this. Okay, so now I'm going to go through the application process on my end with all my personal details. So, all right, are we ready, folks? Are we ready to hit submit? Okay. Now, I understand sometimes when you hit, just put the mic down and type faster. Thanks, Bridge. I probably should, but we're done now. When I hit submit, I know sometimes it will jump back up, so I can't let personal information go. So I'm gonna hit submit, quickly go over, show the screen, and then we're good. All right. If you guys are ready, and if you're ready, I think we're ready. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. And oh man, I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous. My heart's starting to pump. Click when you're ready. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. I'll get to the super chats. We'll be good. Push the button. Do it. Shoot the J. Oh my God. I'm nervous, man. Approved. I don't think I'm getting approved this time because there's so much high stakes. I think I'm submit, Darwin. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna submit. All right. Okay. Oh my God, we're working. Oh, I'm so nervous. Data points. I am 424 right now, baby. We're under 524. Inquiries, call it 1 to 2 between all three bureaus. And I just got a business card 3 months ago. You're all set, baby. You're all set. Does that mean we're approved? Yes, it does, baby. Look at that credit line of 3K. Let's go. Oh, we did it. I'm so happy we did it. All right, let's go. 3K. So who called it? I think Josh said. I think Josh. Oh, this was fun. Oh man. So that's cool. You're all set. And you know what? You know what I'm upset about? They don't do the check. Usually you have a green check right there. Where's my green check, man? Where's my green check? Oh man, 3K credit line for the Inc. Business Cash. Technically, we just maybe broke something, which means, or maybe didn't break something. But this was, just so you guys know, the same exact stuff I put in for my first application for the YouTube channel. So I repeated everything again. And, you know, per the language, Chase is not supposed to allow you to do that, you know, like the 24 months, whatever. But I'm gonna make sure I'll go in my app tomorrow whenever it updates, and I'll do a community post, and I'll let you guys know. You know, if like it has that tracker, like yes, I did get the welcome offer. I'll confirm over the phone. I'm gonna call them probably tonight. Yeah, I'll call them tonight, and I'll have them expedite it. If you just call them and expedite, it's free, and they'll send it to you expedited within like 1 or 2 business days. So definitely worth you know, doing if you get approved as well. And now this is the 4th ink card. Well, I would say 3rd ink card that I've gotten over the last 6 months under my account, and there's one under my wife's account. So let's go, baby. We did it. All right. I'm so happy. Where's the confetti? I know. I wish I had some. I mean, look at this. You guys got, you know, how much freaking, you know, champagne we got of champagne. We got all these different things.